Hi everyone, my name is Adebayo Adeleke. I'm the creator of Nigerian Food Insecurity Project. I'm here in Abuja, the capital city of Nigeria, and we're trying to unravel factors contributing to food insecurity in Nigeria. Over the last year, the current president of Nigeria has declared a state of emergency for Nigerian food insecurity, and this is part of the effort to make sure that we kind of unravel every factors contributing to food insecurity in Nigeria. Since the first quarter of 2023 till now, we've had of an increase of close to about 30 million people have kind of been encamped in the impact of food security in Nigeria. The first quarter of 2023, according to the World Food Program, we have about 66.1 million people affected by the impact of food insecurity in Nigeria. As of March 2024, we have over 100 million people impacted by effect of food insecurity in Nigeria. So that is one of the reasons why we are doing this, to unearth factors contributing, factors responsible for food insecurity in Nigeria. So come along with us, journey with us on this project. Before we dive into issues that are contributing to food insecurity in Nigeria, but what is food insecurity by definition? Food insecurity by definition is inconsistent or lack of or inavailability of quality and nutritious food at any given time. And if you can look at that construct or that definition, you'll be able to see that almost anything that is outside that framework constitutes food insecurity. So there are several factors that we're going to be unearthing during this research that we're doing. One of them is, of course, agricultural production, that primarily almost every man on the street you ask about what is causing the food insecurity, but they will tell you about agricultural production. We need to produce more, we need to produce more. Yes, every layman understands that we need to produce more, but there are other contributing factors to it that are part of the reason why we have high rate of food insecurity in Nigeria. One, of course, the emerging threat, the existential threat that we have right now is climate change. But peculiar to Nigeria, we have the physical insecurity that is being experienced due to the banditry and some other challenges that we're having in different pockets and different parts of Nigeria, especially areas around Nigerian farmlands. And these areas are not, if those things are not arrested, definitely they will be challenging. Then we have other factors. We have primary factors, we have secondary factors. We have factors like heavy taxation, both legal and illegal taxation. We have lack of supply chain infrastructure. We have storage issues, transportation. We have monetary policies, our trade policies, our border securities, and we have about 17 or 20 thematic areas that we're going to be exploring and we're going to be researching during this project, collecting both qualitative and quantitative data to be able to actually showcase how impactful all these factors are contributing to the higher rate of food insecurity in Nigeria. All right, so far, and I know a lot to a layman on the food, to a layman on the streets, the government is not doing enough, because what the government is doing at a macro level is not being seen at a micro level, and it's quite disheartening sometimes. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing this research, to figure out where the gap is and why some of the interventions made by the government is not being effective. As of today, I heard that the government is going to be allowing some importations of rice paddies and corn into the country to alleviate the food inflation. Inflation is one of the biggest impact, one of the very contributing factors into food insecurity in Nigeria. So the government they've done a lot of things helping stabilize, to stabilize the currency a bit so that they can give some kind of stability in importation and people can actually have some kind of predictability. But at the same time, the government is also going through a lot of revolutionary reforms as per, removal of subsidies, and those removal of subsidies also has a way of trickling down to food inflation as well. So some of the steps that the government is looking at in the long term, in the short term, is not really affecting or is not really helping food insecurity, because it had largely kind of excavating the already existing issue. But as we continue to look at, as inflation begins to come down, we anticipate that some of these issues will be reduced, and food inflation that is almost at 40% at this particular point in time, we foresee coming down. Again, this is part of the reason why we are doing this research, to be able to see how these factors are contributing to food insecurity in the country. Just for clarity purposes, let me just give you a prime example of what happens in Nigerian food chain. So the northern state producer most of our tomatoes, i.e. Kano, the producer of tomatoes. So for example, a trailer is picking up tomatoes from Kano, heading back to Mile 12 in Lagos. 66% perishability rate. It takes about 72 hours to get there on a good day. It might take as well as 4 or 5 days to get there. The price of a basket of tomatoes is about 4,000, 5,000 naira, depending on what is really going on, fuel price or whatnot. And then you get on the road, and then of course, you get on the road, you get taxed either by the different communities as you pass Niger State, different communities that legal and illegal taxation, different checkpoint, extortion of drivers, and then when you get to Lagos, it's about 20 to 30,000 naira, and it becomes rather interesting when you look at the price arbitrage. And a worker in Lagos is spending between 70 to 80% of their salaries on food, whereby people on another part of the country, they are not spending that much of a percentage. Then it begins to, you start beginning to ask questions of what is really going on, especially in Nigerian food ecosystem. So that is just a prime example of just one particular product, at least from my little experience. And again, a lot of more stories are going to come out from all the stakeholders and actors in the food chain, and you'll be able to see clearly of different experiences from different geopolitical zones in Nigeria, how food insecurity affects them. Because how it affects people in the north, the northeast or northwest, north central is completely different from south, southeast, southwest, or south central. We started this journey about 2 years ago to put in context. This issue of Nigerian food insecurity has been on my mind for quite some time. Looking and doing all that initial research. Actually, what brought us to understand what is going on in Nigeria food ecosystem was doing a research we were doing across the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, and we found it quite intriguing how food insecurity is just at the core of everything that we've done. So we started this Nigerian food insecurity project, and part of it is because there are needed data. There are needed data that is necessary. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. There are needed data that is necessary to be able to proffer solution to help. The needed data to proffer solutions to help unravel or help solve some of these food insecurity projects. And if these data are not readily available, we have to go find it. Either qualitative data or quantitative data, we have to go find this data. And it involves a large number of people. We have every Nigerian who has on deck to be able to talk about our pain points when it comes to the issue of food security. Food insecurity in southeast and southwest, south-south, north central, northeast, northwest is completely different. What the challenges that plague northwest completely different from the challenges that plague northeast, and it's important for us to be able to articulate each of these, look at the common denominator, look at how they are different, and how we can help kind of resolve this challenge. Food insecurity is at the basis, at the foundation of all security, because without food, nothing else really matters. Food is life. So that's why we took on this project, to be able to understand, gather data, understand the gaps, expose the gaps, provide and proffer solutions for the government and non-government agencies, so that everybody can come together, join hands together, and figure out a way to, put the nation first and develop solutions that are long-lasting, beyond our own generation, and be able to foresee what's going to happen in the next 30 to 40 years, especially as we continue to increase in our population. So that is what this whole project is all about. It's about helping not the businesses, but the government and everyone involved, the people of Nigeria and Sub-Saharan Africa as well, because we are the center of gravity of it all, to be able to proffer solution. And I believe Nigeria can get this food insecurity right. So we can move from Nigeria food insecurity to Nigeria food security. If we can get it right, I think we're up to something great. So that is why Nigeria Food Insecurity Project is all about. Once again, everyone, my name is Adebayo Adeleke. I'm the convener for Nigerian food insecurity project. I want you all to join me on this project. Whatever you can do to support us and let us find and let us reduce food insecurity in Nigeria.